All right, welcome everyone. So, we've talked about how to create the blueprint for our software using things like class diagrams. But a blueprint is just a static drawing, right? How does the building actually function? How do all the different parts of our software talk to each other to get something done, like processing an online order or logging you into an app? Well, that's where behavioral diagrams come into play. They show us the doing part of the system, all the actions and interactions. So, let's dive in and break down exactly how they work.
So, what are we going to achieve by the end of this session? First, after completing this lesson, you'll be able to use behavioral diagrams in designing object-oriented solutions. Sinhala කියනවනම් මේ පාඩමේ වරුණාම object-oriented solutions ඒ කියන්නේ වස්තු නැඹුරු මුදුකාංග නිර්මාණය කරනකොට behavioral diagrams පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඔයාලට පුළුවන් වෙනවා. මේක නිකම්ම චිත්‍ර අඳිනවා වගේ නෙවෙයි, සිස්ටම් එකේ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය සැලසුම් කරන්න මේක අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. Next, you'll be able to describe how sequence and state diagrams can be used in OOAD. ඒ කියන්නේ object-oriented analysis and design වලදී අපි අද කතා කරන ප්‍රධාන diagram වර්ග දෙක වන sequence diagrams සහ state diagrams පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ කොහොමද? ඒවයි තියෙන වැදගත්කම මොකක්ද කියලා පැහැදිලි කරන්න ඔයාලට දැනුම ලැබෙනවා. And finally, you'll be able to model real-world scenarios using these behavioral diagrams. වැදගත්ම දේ තමයි මේක. ඇත්ත ජීවිතයේ තියෙන සිනාරියෝ එකක්, උදාහරණයක් විදිහට online කෑම order කරන process එකක් මේ diagrams පාවිච්චි කරලා model කරන්න, ඒ කියන්නේ රූප සටහනකට නගන්න ඔයාලට පුරුවන් වෙනවා. මේක තමයි software developer කෙනෙක්ට තියෙන ප්‍රධානම හැකියාවක්. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute fundamentals. What exactly are behavioral diagrams? The best way to think about them is like the choreography for your software. Class diagrams show us the static structure, the building blocks. But behavioral diagrams show us how all those different parts move, interact, and work together over time to actually perform a function. We're here to understand the doing part of a system.
At their very core, these diagrams are all about modeling the dynamic aspects of a system. Now, what do we mean by dynamic aspects? We're talking about the parts of the system that are constantly changing or involve some kind of action. If you've ever wondered how an app responds when you tap a button, that's a dynamic aspect. It's all about the actions, the flow of information, and the changes over time. Sinhala padli kanananam, systemekika dynamic aspects kienne, eke venes vena, kriakari kotaswalata. Api kalin katakarapu class diagrams walin penue systemeke nishala buhaya, ekiene structureka. Et behavioral diagrams will in penyahe systemeka athatame weda kuranawidia, kriatmaka wenawidia. Hundama udaharanea tamai gethereka blueprinteka class diagrammakak waganam. E gethere minasu jivethenawidia, weda kuranawidia, katabaha kuranawidia. Ekene siduim dalema. Behavioral diagrammakak wage. This covers the system's functionalities, the flow of activities, and changes that happen over time. It's all about bringing the design to life, really. What features does it have? How does data flow from one part to another? How does the system's status change when something happens? These diagrams help us answer those really important questions before we write a single line of code. Ekiene, systemeke functionalities, ekiene, eken itukarana karyaen, activities will flow eke, ekiene, vedasidavena piluvel, saha, kalayateka siduena veniskams, mehamadema rupa setahana ketanagana api behavioral diagrams pavichi karnoa. Make a software engineer connect to dagodak vidagat, mokade code karana kalin, systemeke hesiruma pahadili woma teramgana meka udulvenoa. Now, as you can see, there are several types of these diagrams, each with a very specific job. You have use case, sequence, activity, and state diagrams, just to name a few. They're like a toolbox for software designers. Me hama diagram wargea ketama vishisata karyak thianoa. Have me padame the api vishishien ma avadania yomu karne, software design waladia nitamawage pavichiwana, gurak ma beload vargadakak. Etamai, sequence diagrams, saw state diagrams.
All right, let's dive into our first major tool, sequence diagrams. The best way to think about this is like a script for a play. The different objects in our system are the actors on stage, and the messages they send to each other, well, those are their lines. This whole section is about figuring out how objects talk to each other to get things done.
So, what's the official definition? A sequence diagram shows the interactions between objects in a system. And this is the key part. It's arranged in time sequence. In really simple terms, it's a visual story of who talks to whom and in what exact order to make something specific happen. Singlam's Ketelavamakiwut, sequence diagrammeka penani, systemekika objects ikineka samaga katakarin navidia, akeane interact venavidia, vadagatmade tamai, me interactions wene kalana rupova, AKani time sequence ekakara. AKani kauda kadada mulima kata karane. Ilagatomaka the winde, kienes samporna pilvil tamai me diagramic impelivum apennane. Yamkizi functionality ikak. Akeani karyak, samporna wind, objects atari, huamare vena messages tika pilvil kadapinane ikatamai mitunavende.
Now, if you want to draw a sequence diagram, you absolutely need to know its key building blocks. Let's look at them one by one. First up, we have actors. An actor is usually a user or maybe an external system that kicks off the entire interaction. They're essentially outside the system, looking in and starting something.
Actor kine kiane system eketek interact karna kinat. Meka samanning user kine kwenda pluan, emnatam wena system ekak kwennat pluan. System ekim pitata indan process ekat patan ganne actor. Next we have objects. These are the internal parts of your system, the components that work together to fulfill whatever request the actor made. Objects kiyanne system එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන අර interaction එකට සහභාගී වෙන කොටස් වලට. මේවා අපි class වලින් හදපු instances. user ගේ ඉල්ලීම ඉටු කරන්න එකට වැඩ කරන්නේ මේ objects තමයි. Then we have messages. These are the actual communications between the objects, and we show them using arrows. This is basically how one object tells another object to perform an action. Messages කියන්නේ objects අතරේ සිදුවන sannivedanaya. අපි මේවා ඊතල, ඒ කියන්නේ arrows වලින් තමයි diagram එකේ පෙන්නන්නේ. එක object එකක් අනිත් object එකට යම්කිසි කාර්යයක් කරන්න කියන්නේ මේ message එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ function call එකක් හරහා. And finally, lifelines. These are the vertical dotted lines that you see hanging down from each object. They represent that object's existence over the course of this specific interaction. Lifelines කියන්නේ හැම objects එකකම පහළට ඇඳෙන සිරස් රේඛාව. මේකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ ඒ object එක ආදාළ scenario එකේ කොච්චර කාලයක් ක්‍රියාකාරීව ඉන්නවද කියන එකයි. Message එකක් යවුවම ඒ lifeline එක උඩ activation box එකක් ඇඳලා ඒ object එක වැඩ කරන කාලේ පැහැදිලිව පෙන්නනවා. So you'd see something like this. Actor-AB-message-object B. The actor sends a message to object A, which then sends a message to object B. And those vertical lines under A and B, those are their lifeline.
Okay, theory is great, but seeing it in action makes all the difference, doesn't it? So let's actually build one of these diagrams together using a scenario we can all relate to: ordering a pizza online. This is really going to show us why this is such a powerful tool for planning.
Okay, here's our scenario. A user uses a mobile app to order pizza from a restaurant. The order is processed, payment is made, and the delivery rider is assigned to deliver the food. As I read that, try to visualize the process. Think about your favorite food delivery app. What happens step by step from the moment you open it? This is going to help us ground this abstract exercise in something we all understand perfectly. All right, first question for you. Based on that little story, who are the actors and what are the objects involved? Go ahead, take a moment, you could even pause if you need to, and really think about the key participants here. Who kicks the whole thing off, and what internal system components are needed to make it all happen? Okay, let's break it down. First, the actor. That one's pretty easy. It's the user. This is because the user is the person outside the system who initiates the entire process. They're the one who decides, I want pizza. Actor වෙන්නේ user. මොකද මුළු order process එකම පටන් ගන්න user. එයා system එකෙන් පිටත ඉන්න කෙනෙක්. Now, for the objects inside our system. First up, the mobile app. The mobile app is an object because it acts as the main controller or coordinator for this entire interaction. It's the middleman. Mobile app එක අපි object එකක් විදිහට සලකනවා. හේතුව තමයි අනිත් හැම ක්‍රියාවක්ම coordinate කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ user ගෙන් ඉල්ලීම අරගෙන අදාළ අනිත් කොටස් වලට යොමු කරන්නේ app එක. ඒක තමයි මේ process එකේ ප්‍රධාන පාලකය. Next, the restaurant. This object represents the restaurant's own system that receives, processes, and confirms the order. Restaurant object එකෙන් නියෝජනය වෙන්නේ order එක බහරගෙන ඒකේ තියෙන items හදන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා check කරලා ඒක confirm කරන restaurant එකේ system එක. Then we have the payment component. This is a specialized object and its only job is to handle all the payment-related tasks securely. Payment component එකේ වගකීම තමයි ගෙවීම් සම්බන්ධ හැම දෙයක්ම බලා ගන්න එක. Credit card details verify කරන එක, transaction එක process කරන එක වගේ සංවේදී දේවල් මේකට අයිති. And finally, the delivery component. This object's job is all about managing the delivery logistics, like finding a rider and assigning the order to them. Delivery component එකේ කාර්යය තමයි delivery process එක manage කරන එක, rider කෙනෙක් assign කරන එක, delivery එක track කරන එක වගේ දේවල් මේ object එකෙන් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. So now that we have our cast of characters, let's write their script. What's the first thing that happens? Step 1, the user places an order. That's a message from our user actor to the mobile app object. Okay, what happens next? Step 2, the app sends that order to the restaurant system. That's our second message. Then, step 3, the restaurant sends a message back saying, yep, we can make that, confirming the order. And this just continues, step by step. The app talks to the payment system responds, the app talks to the delivery system, and so on. Every single one of these steps is a message that we will draw as an arrow on our diagram, showing the precise flow of this conversation. All right, now for the main event. Your exercise is to draw a sequence diagram that models this entire flow. So how would you even start? First, you'd place the user actor and the four objects, mobile app, restaurant, payment component, and delivery component, right across the top of your page. Then you'll draw their vertical lifelines going straight down. After that, you'll start drawing the message arrows for each of those 8 interaction steps we just talked about, in order from the top to the bottom.
And for those of you who want to take it to the next level, here's a follow-up task that really connects the design to reality. Once you've designed the system with a diagram, the next logical step is to turn that design into code. So try to write a simple Java program that simulates these interactions. You could create classes for the restaurant, the payment component, and so on, with methods that represent the messages being passed. This is a fantastic way to see how a clear diagram makes coding so much easier.
Fantastic. We've just seen how multiple objects can collaborate in a single scenario. But now let's completely shift our perspective. What if we wanted to track the entire life story of one single object through all of its possible phases? For that, we need a different tool. We need state diagrams.
This slide is so important because it highlights the key difference you absolutely have to remember. It's all about your point of view. Are we watching a conversation between many different objects in one specific situation? Or are we tracking the entire journey of a single object through all possible situations? A sequence diagram models interactions between multiple objects for a single scenario. It answers the question, how do these objects collaborate? Single kiwat sequence diagram ko pennane objects kihipyak ekata veda karana vidya. Habe eken pennane eka nishchita scenario ekak vitarai. Udaharanayak vidhita sarthakava pizza order karana vidya wage. Mekin OOADs kihipyak ekata veda karane kohomade kiyana prashnata uttara deno. On the other hand, a state diagram models the life cycle of a single object. It shows all possible states and transitions for that one object. It answers the question, what can happen to this object? Habai state diagram ko pennane eka object ekake mulu jivita kalema. E object ekata thena puluan hama state ekakma. E kiyanne hama thatyakma sa e thatta athara maruwenne kohomada kiyana ekat pennanawa. Udaharanayak vidiyata order eka cancel wunnat mokhada wenne kiyana ekat state diagram ekaka pennana puluwan. Meken me object ekata monawada wenna puluwan kiyana prashnata uttara deno.
So let's take a closer look at state diagrams. They show an object's behavior using states and transitions. I like to think of it like a board game. An object is your piece on the board. The squares on the board are the states it can be in, like processing or shipped. Then an event happens, like a user clicking a button, and your piece transitions to a new square. State diagram kin system dynamic swabhave pennanne states sa transitions pave chikarala. States kiani object ekakura innapulan tatvi. Transitions kiani eka tatweka inden ta tatwegata maruenieka. Me maruwimak siddevenne yam kisi event ekak ekiane siduwimak nisa. And we use this to model the behavior of a single object over its entire lifetime. We literally track one object from the moment it's created to the moment it's gone, showing all the important phases and changes it goes through. This is incredibly useful for understanding complex objects. Api meka pave chikarane, eka object eka jivita kalaya tula ehi hasirime model karane. E object eka nirmana woon rilavea inden, vinasha wenakama eke gewana hema avastavakma, make and pennano. Udaharnak vidyata, use account ekak active in then suspended vela, elongata closed when a vidya maken pennana pulwan. And the good news is, the notations are really simple. A state is just a rounded rectangle with a name inside. The initial state, where it all begins, is a solid, filled black circle. And the final state, the end of the line, is a concentric circle, like a bullseye on a target.
All right, it's time for our second practical exercise. We're going to apply our new knowledge of state diagrams. We'll now focus on just one single object from our pizza example, the order object itself. And we're going to map its entire life cycle, from the moment it's created all the way to delivery.
Okay, so here's the question for you. I want you to think about that pizza order again. But this time, forget about all the other objects talking to each other. Think only about the order object itself. What are the different statuses or states that order can be in during its journey? Try to list them out before we move on.
So, let's walk through the possible states for our order object. It all begins when the user submits the order. That action moves it from the initial point into the order place state. Then an event happens. The restaurant confirms the items are available. That event triggers a transition to the item confirmed state. Next, the payment is completed. That event moves the order into the payment done state. After that, the delivery component assigns a rider, which transitions the order to the rider assigned state. Then the rider picks up the food. The order is now in the out for delivery state. And finally, the order is successfully handed to the customer. This triggers the last transition into the delivered state, which is our final state. So the flow would look something like this in your head. Parenthesis 0, D, parenthesis O, then parenthesis order placed, slash confirm items dash, then parenthesis item confirmed, slash complete payment, then parenthesis payment done, then slash parenthesis, then parenthesis rider assigned, then slash parenthesis, then parenthesis out for delivery, then slash parenthesis, then parenthesis delivered, then parenthesis O. This maps the entire journey of that single order object.
And that's a perfect look at how we can model an object's entire lifecycle. I really hope this gives you a clear picture of how both sequence and state diagrams help us design better, more predictable software. And just as a heads up, in our next lesson, we're going to dive into another incredibly important topic, design patterns. Okay, let's quickly recap the most important ideas from today. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Behavioral diagrams are for showing the dynamic or active parts of a system. Sequence diagrams are for interactions between many objects over time. And state diagrams map the entire life cycle of a single object. Sinhala keyword matagatiyaganna pradhanama karanu tunatamai, behavioral diagrams will impinne systemike kriya karyatwaya. Sequence diagrams will impinne objects ki peak egara kata karana vidya. State diagrams will impinne eka object ekaka mulu jivita katava.
And to help you prepare, think about how you'd answer these very common exam questions. First, how would you compare and contrast these two diagrams? Singalan kianoanam, sequence sa state diagrams ataratianin samanakam savinascam monoda kila ahanda buluan. Next, given a scenario, could you identify the actors, objects, and interactions? Ekiane, katawag dila, ekin actors, objects, saha e atravena interactions tika win karla handunagan kiana puluan. Could you draw a complete sequence diagram? And finally, could you draw a state diagram for an object's life cycle? These are the core skills.
And finally, getting the vocabulary right is absolutely key. A behavioral diagram is any diagram that models dynamic behavior. Singalan kiane, paddhatiyaka kriyakari hasirima nirupanaya karana UML rupa satahanak. A sequence diagram shows object interactions in a time sequence. Ekyanne, kalanurupava object satara siduvana antarkriya pennanava. A state diagram describes the states an object can be in. Ekyanne, object ekekata pevatiya heki vividha tatvayan saha eva atara maruvim vistarakaranava. Understanding terms like lifeline, which is just an object's participation, and message, the communication between objects, is fundamental. It's the language we use to communicate our designs clearly.
So, to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with a final thought. Think about a regular ATM. If you wanted to model the withdraw cash process, which involves you, the ATM machine, and the bank's main server, which diagram would you use for that? Now, what if you wanted to model the entire life cycle of your bank account, from active to maybe dormant and then eventually closed? Which diagram is the right tool for that job? Answering that question really gets to the heart of the difference between these two incredibly powerful tools. Keep thinking, keep designing, and I'll see you in the next one.